Welcome back, everybody, to the Bitcoin Business Bureau. I'm your host, as always, LitecoinLeader. It's Super Bowl Sunday, so it's going to be a big day for crypto. And whether you're a fan of the Rams, the Bengals, and I'll give you my pick later, but it's going to be a big day for advertisers and the NFL and crypto in general. That's the expectation. I think it's about $6 million for a 30-minute ad right now. So there's a lot of money at stake, but it's the largest watched television program in the entire United States and usually the world. So it's going to be a big deal. And ads, they're going to be plugging ads. I think the game starts at about 6:20, 6:30, so right after this video. So you flip over, watch the national anthem, see how long it lasts, and see all those different bets that are going on. But the big thing for crypto today in the NFL is the advertising. So the advertising has been big lately with Crypto.com advertising and taking over the Staples Center, and obviously the deals with the UFC and Divi with La Liga and other teams sponsoring sponsorships. They've got, I think Tezos is now with I think Manchester United, they inked that deal. Polkadot's still talking about another team. I think it's Barcelona that was the one they were looking at. But today's about the other kind of football, which is the Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl Sunday is a big deal. And the one thing I wanted to point out is that I saw this story, and I'll link that in the description below. But the NFL has been looking at this for a while, and they've spent some money. They actually spent over $600,000 to lobby Congress and the SEC, and they are exploring how blockchain can impact their business. Now, the NFL, it's the number one league in the U.S. Has been for a while. NBA, I think, is the second one, but the NBA is big and they move quickly in their sponsorships because their commissioner moves quickly. But Roger Goodell and the NFL, they're very methodical. The owners are really in charge because they hire the commissioner. So if they don't think it passes the sniff test, they're not going to do it because there's a lot of money at stake and their TV deals are at stake. But I can only imagine what would happen if in the NBA the last couple of years they started to put their first ads on the jerseys. I mean, you see the soccer kits, they have ads all over them. You see NASCAR is extreme, but that's how the sport survived because of all the sponsorships. So lots are going on today. I think the expectations for the ads today, we're going to have Crypto.com, which is probably going to be, I think that's Mark Wahlberg. I have to remember the restaurant to remember it because we have a Wahlburgers. It's funny how people remember things. And then we've got Tom Brady is probably going to be on there for FTX and NFTs, which I really hope they go for the no football for Tom joke for NFT, but we'll see if they do that. But there's going to be more. I think we're going to see more NFTs. We're going to see, I think Budweiser's going to be involved in NFTs. But it's really interesting that the Super Bowl, the highest rated show, is getting into crypto. And it's about time, to be honest. But crypto wagering, crypto bets, crypto sponsorships, crypto. It's going to be everywhere. And I think I heard the stat that we're going to go from 380 million users to 3.8 billion by the year 2030. So that's a 10x in half the planet. So exponential growth is going to be insane. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see more than I expected, because often there's sponsors for the Super Bowl that they're unexpected. They just come to like, well, what's that company? And they kind of take the advertising by surprise. So, oh yeah, the one story I almost forgot to mention. The other Bitcoin story for the Super Bowl, I believe it was Drake, who placed over $1 million bet. I think it was on Cincinnati to win the Super Bowl. And I think, and Cincinnati is the underdog. I think they're a plus 160, which is, if you don't know sports wagering, plus 160 means you bet $100, you win 160. So they're about maybe a 40%, 30 to 40% chance of winning the Super Bowl. But the line is like 4 points. Both teams have been playing a lot of dramatic games. And let's see if there's any more notes before I give you my pick for the game. But yeah, I talked about the NFL lobbying the SEC. They spent $600,000 already just to investigate if blockchain is right for the NFL. So look for a lot of advertisers today just coming out of nowhere. Now, about the game. And for those of you who don't know, I used to be big into football and sports in general, but it's getting harder and harder every year. But I liked the release of a couple hours of watching soccer, football. I used to play a lot of sports. I used to coach a lot of sports. it's been tough for me to watch the pro leagues do what they do. But now my pick for the game. So originally, several people have asked me, because I've always been a big football guy, and they asked me, well, who did I want to win? And I said my first thought was Cincinnati, because they've never won. But then I thought about the players and all the players that I like, and I'm like, I like Matthew Stafford. I've always liked Cooper Kupp. He was always one of my top picks in fantasy leagues, and he won me a lot of championships. I like Donald. I like Aaron Donald. There's lots of players on both sides that I do like. I forget, there was one other Jalen Ramsey, and Odell Beckham Jr. So here's how I think the game plays out. Okay, Cincinnati is what they call and for those of you who aren't football fans, I'm sorry, but just bear with me for a minute. It is Super Bowl Sunday. But the Bengals are what they call a pass funnel defense, which means they're good against the run, and they ask the quarterbacks against them to say, try and beat us. So look for Matthew Stafford, have a big day, probably throw a touchdown to Cooper Kupp, probably throw a touchdown to Odell Beckham Jr. He may find a tight end. The third touchdown will probably come from Cam Akers for the Rams. So I give the Rams 3 touchdowns. Now the Bengals, they have 2 really good players. They have Jamar Chase, who's a rookie wide receiver, been phenomenal, but he has good rapport with the quarterback, Joe Burrow, because they used to play at LSU. So he's had a phenomenal first year, Pro Bowl, All-Pro, all kinds of records. I look for Jamar Chase to probably score a touchdown, unless Jalen Ramsey, the best cornerback for the Rams, shadows him, which may make it very hard for Chase to score. But Chase is really phenomenal. I think he'll get 1 touchdown. I also think the player of the game is probably going to be Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon, I think, is going to be scoring a touchdown as well, maybe 2, which could be the difference. But I think Mixon scores. I think Chase scores. I think Odell Beckham Jr., OBJ scores. I think Cooper Kupp scores. I think Cam Akers scores. That's 3 touchdowns to 2. So now we're at 21-14. Now we start throwing in field goals. I think the Bengals are going to struggle. The defense is better for the Rams with Aaron Donald and I can't remember. I think Pierre Paul was the other defense end. The Rams are really good on defense. Bengals are pretty good against the run. They're not good against the pass. So I think you're going to see 3 touchdowns to 2. I think that we're going to see, with 3 touchdowns to 2, the Bengals, I think, have the better kicker. Their rookie I think he's 12 for 12 in the playoffs, and he's won some games. But both kickers are good. But I think the Bengals are going to be stuck more inside the 20 in the red zone and not be able to punch the ball in the end zone as often. So they'll probably get a result with like 3 field goals, and the Rams will get 2. So if each team, I think, will score 5 times. The difference will be is that the Rams will get an extra touchdown, where the Bengals will have an extra field goal. So I think the final score, in my mind, 27-23 Rams. I wouldn't mind to see either team. I hope there's a lead change the final quarter. I think that would be fantastic. I think I'd love to see Cincinnati 23-20 going into the final quarter, and then the Rams get a touchdown, or maybe even more action in the 4th quarter. I'm not sure. I don't think we've ever had overtime in the Super Bowl. That would be fantastic. As far as wacky bets, a friend of mine texted me and said, I have no idea what this bet means, but I think DraftKings said a player to score an octopus. And I'd admit I had to Google this, and when I thought about it, like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Because way back in the day, now we're changing sports, but Detroit Red Wings fans used to throw octopi onto the ice during the playoffs, because it used to take 8 games to win the Stanley Cup. There's only 2 rounds, best of 7. 8 games, 8 arms, the octopus. That's what they used. That was like their emblem for winning a Stanley Cup. 8 wins is what it takes. But scoring an octopus in football, I'd never heard it. I had no idea what that meant. So my friend texted, because he knows I know a lot about this stuff. He's like, what's an octopus mean when it comes to wagering? I said, I have no idea. But I Googled it, and it's when a player scores a touchdown and a 2-pointer on the same possession. Pretty rare. So I would say no for that prop bet, but yes is like 20-1. There's all kinds of fun bets for the Super Bowl. I recommend, if just to make the game interesting, play a Super Bowl square at a party, or pick a game, something that, put $20 just to have fun. Maybe just the over, like 50 points or more. I think it's going to be a relatively high-scoring game. The Bengals have to score. They have to outscore the Rams to win, because I don't think they're going to be able to stop Matthew Stafford in the passing game for the Rams. So I don't mind whoever wins. I hope it's a good game for crypto. I hope it's a good game in general. I hope it's entertaining. But I'm picking 27-23 Rams, and you heard the pick there. So we'll see how it plays out, which is right on the spread, by the way. I think it's Rams -4. So lots said today. And I hope you enjoy the game. So I'm going to wrap this up so you can change over to go watch the game. But for right now, I'm going to close the door on the bureau, say follow the leader, and I'll see you next time. Take care.